Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2010 Audi A6 with a 3-liter TSFI engine, and it's in here because the MIL is reported to be on. Was in here back in July for some unrelated repairs. So we're going to do a network scan and see what comes up. So here's the results of the network scan. We've got some codes in the engine controller, HVAC, central electronics, airbags, convenience center, door electric, and so on. Now I understand this car's been sitting for a while, so maybe the battery is low. So we got a P0492 or 001170 secondary air injection system bank 2 and bank 1. So maybe we have a faulty air injection pump, insufficient flow. Now when I started it, I didn't hear the air pump run, and normally you'd hear the air pump run. It's an electric pump. Normally you'd hear it run for the first 60 seconds when it's in open loop. Yeah, fresh air blower, that's in the HVAC. Bulb for fog lights. Crash sensor for side airbag. Well, it's not on now. Alright, so we're going to save this report. I just put the customer's name in there. Done, close. Oh, it's saving the report. Okay, so I'm going to try to run the air injection pump with the output test function. Start next. Power relay. Fuel pump. Intake manifold flap. I went through this already and I never saw the intake manifold. Fan control. Purge solenoid. Leak detection pump. Right engine mount solenoid. Left engine mount solenoid. Fuel metering valve. Oil pressure regulating valve. Coolant pump for intercooler. Can't hear that running, and that's it. So where is the test or the output test for the air injection pump? I can't find it. I'm going to look up some cases on this. So I'm looking at a case on Identifix for both the P0491 and 492. No drivability problems. They're not complaining about any drivability problems. Insufficient flow from bank 1 and 2 air injection system. It says it says you can command it on with a compatible scan tool, but I went to this technical service bulletin here, and they have a problem with carbon deposits plugging up the ports, but I can't see that on both banks, but it's possible. And reading this report here, it says using Otis testing for all but A6. This is an A6. So if I go down to the A6, it says go to control module, engine, control module, basic settings, test 77. While performing test 77, check if the secondary air pump is running and make sure it does not make any abnormal or unusual noise. Like I said, normally on a startup you should hear that air pump running. If test 77 fails but the pump is running and does not make any abnormal noise, perform the cleaning process below. If the pump is not running and makes abnormal noise, this TSB does not apply. Well, looking in VCDS, in basic settings, test group 77, it has the status of the secondary air injection pump, but I can't change the status. So I'm doing something wrong here. So I decided to take another approach at diagnosing this and go old school here. First and foremost, I was going to check this 50 amp fuse that feeds the secondary air pump, but it's under the right plenum chamber in the E-box, in right plenum chamber E-box, And that fuse feeds a relay. Let's pull up the next diagram here. There's the relay, and it's in the same location. Now to get to that, you got to take the windshield wipers off and the cowl off. So I'm going to locate the secondary air injection pump, which I believe is in the right front corner. At least that's where it was on a Q7, but I don't know. I'm going to check. So it turns out you can get that cover off without taking the plenum or the wiper arms off. Just remove these two screws. You can lift this up enough to access this one bolt back here. There are 5 T30 bolts around the circumference of this, and now we can see a fuse panel down underneath here. A relay center. There's a fuse, a relay there. I hope that's 643 relay. Let's see, is there other stuff over here? Might have to take the ECU out of the way. There's a big white fuse there, 50 amp fuse it looks like. Let's see if that relay is the one we're going after. So I was right, the air pump lives down under the right headlight. It's item number V101 in the schematic. And the secondary air injection sensor is item number 10. It's over here in this area. Pretty hard to pinpoint that. But I haven't figured out for sure if that relay that I'm looking at in there is the actual relay for it. I do have power to pin 30 of that relay, and I have continuity through 87 to ground with a test light, but I'm reluctant to just bypass the relay and see what happens. So that is in fact the secondary air injection pump control relay, and if I bypass the relay, the air pump runs. So now we need to focus on whether or not, well, I'm sure the control side of the circuit is okay because I likely would have a fault code for it. There's a secondary air control valve down there on that side, another one down here on this side, and there are a couple of solenoids that operate it too, and I think they're in this area right here. Wonderful. Now we got to see if we can watch that pressure when we command that air pump on. Should be able to see air pressure on that pressure sensor. So these are the two vacuum control solenoids for the two actuators on the back of the cylinder head. That pressure sensor lives way down there, same place as it was on that Q7. It's a kind of a bitchy spot. It looks like a little map sensor. That could be failed in range, indicating a lack of pressure. So the way the system works is when it runs the air pump, it expects to see a pressure change on that sensor, and if it doesn't, then it sets a fault code for insufficient airflow. But the pump is obviously running. I'm going to bypass that relay with a jumper wire so the pump runs, and then we're going to watch the pressure on the scan tool. So I went to run that with a jumper wire rather than this push button switch so I could watch the pressure on the scan tool, and I noticed a significant amount of current flow. You can actually see the wires move when I turn the pump on. So I decided to current ramp it. And once it's running, it's about 19-20 amps, and there's a 50 amp fuse in the circuit supplying the pump. So that sounds reasonable. But the initial current flow is well over 30 amps. So watch what happens when I turn it on. It's over 40 amps, but it quickly drops. So there could be a line that's cracked and leaking. I can't hear any air hissing, but my battery charger is running, keeping the battery from going dead here while I'm doing this diagnostic. So I'm going to connect a couple jumper wires in there. So now you can see with the air pump running, I've got 164 millibar. Whatever that works out to in PSI. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'll check. But when it's not running, and I'll disable it. You can see the pressure drops down to basically 0. So the pressure sensor is working. Oh boy. Well, I'll see if I can find some more information. So searching the Rostec forum here, I found P0491, 492 codes. It says when found in most North American market 2009 to 16 Audi models 3 liters or 3.2 with both codes stored at the same time. Check to see if the TSB 2033001 is applicable. So there's a policy adjustment for 10 years and 190,000 kilometers for carbon blocking up the air passages in the exhaust circuits in the cylinder heads. But it says check the fuse, which I've done. Check the relay. Well, I've checked the output side of the relay. I can't command it on for some reason. Check hoses and piping. Based on the fact that I see the air pressure come up, I think the hosing and piping is okay. Check the secondary air injection solenoids. Check the air injection pressure sensor. Check the Combi valves. Those are the valves on the back of the cylinder heads. I got to figure out how to check those. Clean secondary air injection ports in the cylinder heads. If obstructed with carbon, see special notes. Well, I think first and foremost I'm going to put this thing back together and take note of whether the air pump runs on a cold open loop start before we get carried away. Make sure the computer's in control of that air pump, and then we'll focus on the rest of this. So I got the vacuum pump connected to the left-hand Combi valve, and you can see that it holds vacuum. So the line going down to it is okay. I'm going to connect it to the right-hand side. So I got to connect it to the right side, and it holds vacuum too. So the lines going down to the Combi valves and the actual the diaphragms in there must be okay. I hope we don't have a carbon buildup in the exhaust ports, which is common on these engines. This thing is beyond that policy adjustment. The customer's trying to sell the vehicle, and it's hard to sell with the check engine light on. Now, this could have been a one-time shot deal where it set the code, so I've cleared the codes, and I'm going to put it all back together again. I'm going to make sure that that pump runs in the morning when in closed loop, because that's how it actually monitors it. So here's my thought process. I'm pretty sure this thing's going to be ending up needing the exhaust ports cleaned, and I don't think the customer's going to want to do that considering they want to sell the vehicle. But what I've done temporarily is I've installed a relay breakout box in there, as you can see, and 3 jumper wires on it, so I can watch the output side of the relay with the big bulb here and the control side of the relay on a cold start to see that that air pump runs, because you only have about 60 seconds of run time. And if it runs and we see pressure on the sensor, which we're seeing when I run it manually, then the next step is to clean the exhaust ports, which, like I said, I don't think is going to happen on this thing. I'm not really over eager to get that job or take that job on. Okay, this thing's been sitting for a couple of hours, so I'm going to see if those 2 lights come on during a cold start or a cool start. Well, that's interesting. The control light came on, but the output from the relay didn't indicate it came on. I wonder if that relay is defective. Okay, so I'm going to try this again. I may have had I think I had my test light on the output side of the relay on the wrong wire. Or I didn't have a good ground. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, so the relay's working and the air pump should be running now. Okay, I'm going to record data on the scanner. Okay, so we're going to watch memory block 77 and millibars of pressure from the air pump. When I start this up again, let's see if we can graph it. We want, yeah, we got the yellow trace should be millibar. We don't want 900 though. I'm going to see if I can adjust the range on this. Can't seem to figure out how to adjust the auto ranging on the graphs. There's got to be a way. I'll have to look at that, but we'll watch this value right here when I start it up and see that we should see some kind of pressure increase with the pump running. Well, the problem is the pump didn't run that time because it's obviously warm enough, so we're going to have to let the engine cool off and try one more time. Okay, so the test light on the right is the control side of the relay. The test light over here is the output side of the relay. I've got two vacuum gauges hooked up to the Combi valve solenoids, and I hope it's cooled off enough for this air pump to run. And I'm also recording data to see if we get air pressure. Yeah. So the system is working. You can see that it stays on for roughly, well, usually about 60 seconds or once it goes into closed loop. There, 44 seconds. And now it's, so it cycles it on and off. Now it's shut off the relay.
Down to 24, down to 17, 12, 5, 2, 1, 0, 0.
Okay, George, thanks. Okay, so we're going to start this car cold this morning. Going to watch the air pressure in millibar from the air injection pump and watch the vacuum gauge up here on the dash on the windshield. It's definitely running. Got vacuum up there on the gauge. And we've got 150 millibar. So the air pump's running. Now, is that enough millibar? Let's see what happens when the vacuum gauge kicks off. There, it kicked off. So the pressure went up to 180, 200, 210. Vacuum gauge is at 0, hasn't came back on yet. And the pump has run off. So like I said, the pump runs for about 60 seconds. So I think this thing has got clogged exhaust passages, and we'll have to have a discussion with the customer as to whether or not they want to go ahead with any kind of repairs on that.